And one, hello, and welcome everyone. This is Mxiety. I am on tonight with the beautiful, fantastic mixer community champion, Tonzy. Hi,
Hi,
Tonzy.
love. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. That's how I am. Oh my gosh. I am just beyond thrilled. I told you I was a little nervous. The little schvetz on my forehead is definitely showing off. But it's all good. It's all good. As soon as you said you were like, "Hey, no questions off the table," I was like, "Prepare your butt. It's gonna
I'm
be."
I'm ready for dig deep. I like deep questions. I hate people that ask just like, "How are you?" Well,
Yeah. Why did you decide to start stream? If one more person asks me why I decided to start streaming, I decided to start streaming because I had a camera, and then I was like, I have a button, and then says press live, and okay, that's already too much. Anyway. So hello, welcome everybody. For those of you guys who don't know, questions will be popping in throughout the stream from chat. We'll be responding to them as fast as possible, if not at the end of the Q&A. But we're gonna dive right into it. So this is more or less a mental health, what we call it is a mental health plus talk show, meaning we talk about mental health, but like everything is mental health. So we will deep dive into everything as much as we possibly can. So my first question for you is, other than me badgering you through SETI and through just incessant love and not giving up on the fact that maybe one day you would come and greet me, and the fact that it is Valentine's Day, so it was the perfect time for us to
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
self-love and just in general, like accepting yourself and who you are and all that good stuff. So why is mental health important to you?
Because like you said, mental health is everything, and I know I struggle with it. I have ups and downs, and a lot of people don't understand it, which is very sad. And um I don't know. And being this is like we're about to get deep real fast, sis.
I asked
Uh,
for it. I asked for it.
Especially in the gay community, mental health is tied to liking men or liking women.
Mhm.
So I think mental health is important because we need to distinguish what it is. People don't know what it is. People assume it's you're crazy, you're bonkers, you have a disease. Like it's important. I think it should be important to everyone. And I think it's super important for the gay community because there's that like stigma. Would that be the word of
Stigma
like,
is the word. Stigma is the hot word of the century when it comes to mental health. Yeah.
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 So
So, did you experience, like, you obviously, I'm every straight person does not have the experience of having to go out and tell people, "Hey guys, I'm straight, just so you know. This is important information for you." So before you came out, did you have any period? The answer no is totally okay, but did you have a period where you were like super depressed and not sure who you were and just like dealing with that uncertainty, or were you like, "No, I know who I am. I got this."
no, I think I've always known, but when you're told constantly, I think this is what you're asking. When you're told constantly to like girls, it does get confusing. So I've always liked boys, always. I remember having this crush on his name was Hayden, and he played soccer, and like he was like my little elementary school crush. So it's always been there. But when you're told to like girls, it's like it is confusing, I guess.
Yeah.
And then in high school I came out, so I've never been depressed, I've never been sad, I've never had like
That's
that.
fair. You don't have to be depressed to talk about mental health. I also want to
Yeah.
make that like super duper clear, because mental health is just like your brain being healthy, like taking care of your mind the way we take care of our bodies. So yes, so that's nothing. But yeah, okay, all right. So you came out. How did that go?
um I'll be honest, it was like a little rocky. I think my mom was scared
Okay.
for me, not of me but for me, and so she overcompensated with being protective. And so she, what's the word, held me down more than I should have been held down. But it only lasted for a few months, sis, because you know me, I have a big mouth. And I was like, nah, sis, let me be. And so she finally was like, okay, I
She
trust
didn't have
you.
a choice.
You're confident. And no, it was only like a month of just like crazy confusion. And then it was fine. Everyone in my family was like, Sis, we know. Yeah, we've been waiting for this moment.
That's
So
adorable. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's amazing. Because that's not, obviously that's not the experience for a lot of
Mhm.
people. Do you feel like, so you knew you had a high school, you know, you had a little crush even when you were younger, but how was it going through and like accepting, like you said, so many people are like, oh, what, nobody was going to come up to you when you were like a 5-year-old boy and be like, what boy do you like? You know, they probably came up to you and were like, do you have a crush on a girl in your class? And so what is it like going through that? Because I honestly, as a, you know, heterosexual, like I have no idea into this, so dive as deep as you can. How was it just understanding that, like, hey, this isn't what everybody else is doing, and that's okay for me to do it anyway?
I'm like, I feel like I'm the worst person for these questions because my gay story is like so easy, and
I
I
don't
want
think
that to
it's
be.
easy.
But
I'm
I
gonna
just I want.
challenge you. I'm gonna challenge.
Okay.
I'm not saying like be over dramatic and be like, but it was so hard for me because, or you know, it was so like, I don't, just tell it like it is. I don't think, I want you to know that like I'm not expecting you to be like, and then I was pushed into the mud by a boy I like. Like I'm
But I
not
want people
expecting any
to
of
know
that.
that happens. Like
Yes,
just because
but that's
I
not
had
your
it easy.
experience. Somebody
Right.
else I will talk to will have that experience and will share
Okay.
that. But that is not your experience. I'm not asking you to be on here to talk for every gay person who does drag on the planet. That's real ignorant. So we're good. We're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Just letting you know you do not represent, and just everybody else in case that's Tonzy here does not represent the gay race. Okay? We're
You're
good.
right.
You're right.
No, but uh could you repeat the question in a simpler way?
That's a
I'm
great
sorry.
question. I don't know what the question fucking was, so we're clear. No, the question was like, what? How did you? How? Tell us. This is your story, and if your story was a little bit easier, so tell us what that was like to not have to go through that when you're like, hey, I like boys. Usually, boys are expected to like girls. How did you figure out, hey, this is gonna be okay for me to do this? This is gonna be okay for me to like boys, and I'm going down this road, and this is me.
Well, the moment I realized it was okay was the moment. This is so sad. I feel so bad for her. Her name was Ashley. She was my first girlfriend. Um, and we broke up and we were friends. And she was the first person I told I was gay. And I feel so bad because she liked me and she was my ex-girlfriend, but I just felt really comfortable. She was like my best friend. But she made the whole experience okay. She really told me that, like, you know, if people don't like you, that's okay, because there are millions of people who will like you. I support you. And just like having that support from someone who easily could have been like, oh, no, you know, like we were
Yeah,
dating. So
yeah.
she could
I
have
was
easily
that
shut me
girl for
out.
somebody.
Yeah.
I had a similar situation where I like took all my balls in my hand and was like, I like you. I really like you, to this boy, and he's like, I haven't told anybody this yet, but I like you, but really as a friend because I really don't like girls the way other boys do. And I was like, no way. So he like, I felt bad because I like forced him to come out to me,
Yeah.
because he was like, I don't want to let you down because I still want to have you as a friend, but barking up the wrong tree here, lady. And that was a huge, I mean, I thought that was a big honor. But I'm glad there was somebody there to empower you, to not tell you, because she could have been bitchy about it, very
She could
much
have been
so.
awful about it, yeah. But having her like be supportive kind of like opened up that branch to be able to tell my best friends and my friends. And then I told my mom. And then from there, it was like building up the confidence to tell my stepdad. And he actually was like almost the coolest about it, which was kind of crazy because he's such a hard ass. He's so like, I'm not going to say that. He's very, there's two sides of politics and he's on the other.
Oh,
And that,
okay. All right. That's cool. That's
yeah,
we can leave it at that. That's fine. He's not on the side that you might be on. There's
right. And
Yeah.
so for me, it
Okay.
was like very scary to tell him. And then
Yeah.
it turned out he was like the coolest and he's never like said anything mean to me. I don't know. It was just so nice. And so everyone in my family was cool. And it's just, I think every gay person, or really anyone that has a secret to tell, having that person that's like, it's okay, is so important. Because if you don't have that person, it's just like a downward spiral.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really blessed to have her to tell me it was okay, because then it was like, okay, wow, that was so easy, and I'm me, and if people don't like it, then I guess too bad. So
do you think that that's what encouraged you? Because this show, I mean, our goal, right, when we talked before, was to talk about like loving yourself and just love in general. So we're gonna dig into relationships and stuff like that for sure. But how, I want to know, where the fuck do you get your self-confidence? Because I'm as confident as I can be, but at the end of the day, and I mean, like, I'm also diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and all this like other fun stuff, so that does definitely beat you down. But I do not carry Tonzy confidence. Like, Tonzy confidence is known across the web. Like, Tonzy calling you out, spilling the tea shit, like, that is not something that somebody does if they are not certain about who they are. And so
confidence, yes, queen.
oh my god, I love that so much. So tell me, how did you, tell me your journey of like embracing yourself and being like, this is who I am. Or maybe this is the time where you really spill me the dirt and you're like, it's all a facade, I'm crumbling inside. Please don't say that. I hope
I literally asked Stream, I was like, should I just tell everyone I hate them and then cancel my career now? No, but I thought about talking about this on stream, like, and I talk about it all the time. When you come to realize that you have one life to live, okay, you're the only person that controls your outcome. You're in control of everything, in a sense, that happens to you. Like, you are in control of your life, and the only person that you need to be happy is you. Confidence happens. Like, I love everybody. I see everybody as a person. There's no color, there's no gender. Y'all are just people to me. And I think when you start to just, I think people look at things as black and white, and the
right.
world's not that. And I think it sounds crazy, but that's where my confidence comes from, because why should I care what any of these people are saying? Like, I'm me, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, there's nothing you can do about me. I'm going to continue to be me. And that makes me confident, knowing that no one can change me, because I'm in control and this is my life to live, and I can do whatever I want.
Holy crap.
And that's confidence.
That is poetic. No, but again, somebody said in chat, seriously, like, bottle it and sell it. That's incredible. Because not every person can do that. And so the kind of the converse of that, and this happens to women a lot, and as you know, you do drag, so I'm sure you kind of get hit with it as well. The whole like confidence comes across bitchy, right? So like, if I know what I want, oh my gosh, you get labeled as a bitch. So how do you, because I have never thought of you as a bitch. I've never talked to somebody who's been like, oh, Tonzy, that bitch. Like, I've never. So how do you teeter that line while being like, I am me, but not coming across as just like an asshole?
I'm so glad you're hitting the hot topics today.
Wait, is that sarcasm or is that
no?
not?
That has been my life for the last 2 days. You just have to honestly get over it, because, and that, sorry, a lot of things I'm going to say in this interview are going to be very straightforward, because that's how I am. And
so
that's
hold
why
back. Before you say sorry for being straightforward, I need you to think about what that means. I'm sorry I'm about to be straightforward. That's like defeats the purpose. You're good. You're
okay,
good.
I just,
Go.
people think I'm a bitch. So you just have to like get over it. Like, it doesn't matter, because these people think I'm a bitch because I call them out on their bullshit, and that burst of reality isn't okay for them. And like people on social media, they have these communities they build, and so the community only listens to them. So when you start to break down that community's view of that person, they get scared and they start to say you're bullying them. And
right.
So you just have to get over it. Like, if you think I'm a bitch, like, I'm sorry, then I'm a bitch. But like, everything you're doing is not okay. And the things you're doing, like, you're not a very good person. And I think people need to know that. And
Who
so if
made
that
who
makes
made
me
you
a bit,
decide that? Wait, who makes you the judge, jury, and executioner there? Like, who makes? I understand. Like, I don't disagree with you. I've seen the people you call out. I've never been like, oh yeah, I 100% agree with you. But that being said, like, what gives you the right to call somebody out? Why don't you just walk away? Just look at that and be like, that's not for me, and step it aside. Because that is the, like, if you look on social media for all the positivity streamers,
yeah.
that's what you hear, right? So why not? Why not
And I
that?
talk about this all the time. I love this. This is so great. I hate people that don't say anything. When you sit and you keep it quiet and you keep it peaceful, those people that are doing awful things continue to feel like that is okay. You're letting it slide. It's like when a man is antagonizing a woman and she's pretty much just screaming for help and you're like, we're just gonna, it's fine. I don't want to ruin my reputation. No, that person needs help. You speak up and you do something about it. And so many people are afraid to do that. And that's why I get so much positive feedback on all my tweets, because I have the courage to say that is wrong. And if I've ever been wrong, which I have yet to be, I will openly apologize. I have no shame in my game. If I was in the wrong for saying something or I openly bullied someone, like I'll apologize, but that's not the case. And I feel like I kind of am the voice of Mixer because a lot of people are afraid to say something. And that is the general consensus. I get so many people messaging me that are like, thank you so much for saying something because I've been holding this back and I didn't know when to say something. Does that make sense?
No, that does. That's how I look at you. Like, I wait, I'll see something drop and then I'll be like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then you will kind of explain or give your take and I'm like, that's the take. That's what I was it's because sometimes you want to say something but you don't have the right words to say it. And so you wait for people you look up to like to kind of help you formulate. It's not that somebody is like I'm making it sound like you basically create my thoughts for me, which is not the case. It's more like I have an idea of what I want to say, but I don't know how to put it. Oh my god, she's got it. That's it. That's how I would put it. That kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And like I can openly admit sometimes it gets messy because
Well,
it's
yeah.
Twitter and I'm a human and sometimes people strike, chords with me and it's like, okay, like, bitch, let's go then. But that's just me being a human being. Like, I can't, keep this confidence all the time. Sometimes people do get to me. But beyond the messiness, like, my tweets are nothing but to be like, hey, this is not okay. And I'm not saying I have the right to do it. I'm not, Judge Judy in this aspect. But, like, if I see something that's not right, I'm going to say something. So.
How do you decide where's that line? Because you cannot police everybody. You are one
Right.
Tonzy, right? So where is that line for you of like, I gotta let that shit go. I gotta let that go. I'm gonna let that go. Okay, this I cannot stand for this. So where's that line?
Just my moral compass, I
Okay,
guess. Like,
sure. That's a fair answer. Yeah.
like everything I don't know. There's just like some common sense that needs to be like, okay, can y'all not call me? Thank you. I don't know. You just have to like look into things. You have to think about it. I don't just read something and then instantly tweet about it. Like I think like, is this okay? I don't know how to explain that. It's just, I know.
Well,
If
you
something doesn't
said
feel right.
you haven't been wrong, and you've said that you would take it back if you were wrong. So I guess, other than if the answer is just intuition, I will hop right off this topic. But other than you just being like weighing your pros and cons and being like, I'm willing to be wrong about this, is there anything like you're about to hit send tweet, right? About like, for example, somebody just like a random example that has nothing to do with what's going on right now. Somebody is having a lurk for lurk community in Mixer and it's making Mixer look really bad and they just got partnered. And so you decide, I'm going to send a tweet about this. Tell me what goes through your brain. Like, I want to be inside of Tonzy's mind at that moment.
I appreciate you so much.
That's what I'm here for.
Like if that was a real scenario,
Good.
I would have been sent these screenshots in a DM. I read through it. It seems very sketchy. Like I'll just give you this example. We're talking
Sure.
about this situation, so I'll talk about this situation. For me, I read it and it seems like a very view botted bot
Mm-hmm.
scenario. There's
Mm-hmm.
no cash involved, but you're paying people to watch you 24/7 to give them an auto host. It just seems like you're buying bodies. It seems very not cute. And a lot of smaller streamers are going to fall for this because they don't know. They
Mm-hmm.
just think, wow, all I have to do is leave a tab open. And then at some point throughout the day, I'll get hosted by this person and have inflated views. Like that to me is wrong. That's not Mixer. You're faking these views. And there's so many people that work hard every day to get views and you're just bypassing it by creating this fake environment. Does that make sense? And so
No,
for
it makes
me,
a ton of sense. It does. I mean, like just like lurk for lurk. So it pisses you. Lurk for lurk pisses you off. Like if we could put it in one sentence, it pisses you
yeah,
off. Um. Okay. So, but why is that? Isn't it just like Mixer's responsibility? So like report it and call it a day. Walk away, right? Report it and be like, this guy's being a douche nozzle.
you're right. I could do that. But when you just report it to Mixer, it's not a public knowledge anymore.
It's not right.
And I think there are situations like trolls in chat, just report them, gone. But
Mm-hmm.
this person is a streamer. This person is partnered. People are going in his chat, supporting him. And for me, that needs the public's eye, not
Right.
just a report to Mixer.
So it's you more speaking to, and let me know if I'm like taking words out of your mouth, but it's you more speaking to the larger Mixer community and being like, hey, this guy's doing this and it's not okay, and people will come after you for doing this. Like it's kind of sending a sign versus just
Right. This is where I might be wrong, but I very much believe like if you're doing something wrong, like people should be able to see it. And I know that's harsh, and I know that might be where I become a bitch, but I very much like believe in that. People make some mistakes and things like that, but I think like if you're doing wrong, people should know about it. And I don't think you should be getting support
right,
when you're like crossing lines.
right.
Like I don't know. I feel harsh saying that, but like that's something I truthfully believe in. Like you don't get to get support and embers and create
Right.
this fake community and just let it happen. Or the people that I tweet out who say these awful things, like you don't just get to get love and support and then turn around and be a bully and like talk about these people and talk about their partners. You don't get that. That's not fair.
Right.
Like I don't know.
No, that's a big, I mean, that pisses me off, but I don't have the influence you have, right? Because that is something that if I were to say that on social media, the small fish that I am, if I were to say like, it's not fair, I work my ass off, right? Getting interviewees, I do research for my episodes, like how many people do that? I just all this stuff. I work a 9 to 5 while I do all this. I'm writing while I do all this. Like I'm doing all that, and you get to come on and be like, lurk for me, and you get partnered. Are you like, if I said that, I would sound like the pettiest jerk. Like I don't know how to say that without just being immediately, maybe even freaking canceled. Just being like, look at this petty mental health asshole who cannot, who is just looking at other people and looking at what they have, like focus on you and all that other fake positivity crap that you hear. So the fact that you're saying it, it's very much needed. Somebody needs to say it. And the fact that you are using your voice in that way, I think is very powerful, because you could just you have also enough cachet with Mixer that you could just report it and that person would be gone, and then that's that, and that's the end of the whole story.
Right.
So what makes you, and bear with me here, but
Okay.
what makes this different than being freaking Keemstar, right? Where you're just like, here's the latest bit of news, here's the crap, Here is, you know, I mean, I understand that he's also a jerk who would never admit that he's doing wrong and everything, but like, what makes this different? Like, people are literally going to you and sending you screenshots and being like, Tonzy, report this.
Right. I have many opinions about Keemstar.
We're invulnerable here, apparently.
Um,
I uttered his name. We're screwed. It's like Beetlejuice.
to me, he just is toxic. He's not me at all. And I'm not saying you're comparing him, but people have said it. But to compare me to Keemstar, who literally just like picks apart people's relationships, and like someone could sneeze and he would be like, drama alert. Like, bitch, that ain't drama. That's just that's that's bullshit. That's like not even like cute. He reports on stuff that is irrelevant. It's literally like Jeffree Star fighting James Charles. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not a drama alert channel. I am Tonzy, who does drag and dances and loves everyone. And if you're doing genuine wrong, I will say something. I'm not reporting on Lindsay Wood versus Goddess. Ooh, tune in next time. Like, that's not even like worth it. That it's keeping up with the Kardashians, but YouTube edition. Like, it's
Right.
boring to me.
Right. So kind of pivoting away from that. I love your answers, by the way. Absolutely. Like, beautiful. But so pivoting slightly away from that, what pisses you off in general the most about online networking culture? Like, what is somebody messages you with X message and you're just like, I'm triggered. I can't deal with this. I can't.
About networking?
Yeah, just about networking in general. Like, what? Because obviously lurk for lurk doesn't work. Follow for follow doesn't work. What does
You know
work
what?
in
The
your
best thing that works is a motherfucking friendship. Excuse my French, but literally, I said this last night. Everyone that has become my friend succeeds because we're friends and we help each other and we build each other up because we're friends.
I'm almost crying because Video Game Diva is in chat, and her and I were just having like a moment, several moments today over my book launch and her support, because she's freaking adorable.
We love Diva.
She's like one of a kind human, just period. I'm talking to you. Don't dare look away. But so that is hard to do. But how can you discern? Somebody comes at you and it's a new person. Let's say, for example, like somebody's trying to start doing drag on Mixer, and potentially they're your competition, right? And potentially maybe you look at them and you're like, oh, actually they are doing good shit. And then they message you and they're like, can we collab? What would you do? What's your thought process there?
Well, I'm not that person at all. I don't have any competition on Mixer. I think that sounds so cheesy, but I don't see anyone as like, oh girl, like she's coming from my crown. Like, there's like, bring on the drag queens, please. Like, let me, like, I will help you. And if it seems like a genuine collab and you, like I said, come in my community and try to be my friend, then yeah, let's collab. But if it's just hey, have no idea who you are, let's collab. Sorry, sis.
That's not happening with anybody, really. But I will say, right, I'm like star of after 2 years of interviewing people, I am star of sending awkward messages to start out a conversation where I'm like, I like you so much, will you come on my show? And then just,
well, that's what I mean. Like, you have been in my channel. If you would have asked me and I had no idea who you are, no thank you, sis. I don't want to be on your show. I don't know you. Like, why would I come on this show and give you the time of day when I haven't? That's like the biggest thing for me is Mixer community is a family and a community. And if you are like, does that make sense? Like, be my friend. Yeah. That's it. Like, that's networking 101. All these people just want to join this 24/7 host for view community. And you just never build a friendship. You just build these fake follows. Like,
that sounds really lonely. That's what that sounds like.
It sounds very lonely. So why not like get out and network and hang out in people's communities and make friends, and then that friendship.
Hard.
It may be hard, but think about it. Like,
I'm kidding. I know.
Well, no, a lot of people think that way.
Go,
It's
go, go, go,
hard.
go. You say. I was just making sure
But
that you
like,
knew I didn't think that.
hang out in Video Game Diva's community, become her friend, and then one day she's gonna be like, let's look for a host. And she's scrolling through and she's like, wow, Goddess is on. She was really sweet. Let's host them. And then it just continues to grow. And then from there, it's like an umbrella effect. Like, I don't know. Friendship. That's my answer. Meet people. Like, this is a community. This isn't like, no shade, but this isn't like Twitch where we're all cutthroat and like trying to like.
No shade. That is literally what you say before you throw the shade. Excuse
I threw
me.
the shade. I'm throwing the shade. It's very cutthroat. And here it's very like, let's help each other. And I hope it stays that way.
I wanted to as well. I mean, that's why I'm here. But yeah, absolutely. So have you really, you're telling me you've never been burned on somebody who's like, I want to be your friend. Oh, did you host me? We're good now. We're good. Thanks. Bye. Bye. And it's like a distant memory of friendship is gone.
Sure. That's every day of my life. Streaming is literally the saddest career. It's the loneliest career, but also the most fulfilling and not lonely.
Depending on how
like,
you look at it, it totally, yeah.
Like, this kind of sounds crazy, but every time I go to a convention, I come back and I've lost one of my favorite people. And it's sad. People just come and go, and it's like so sad, but also like so fulfilling because I've met people like Diva and Goddess and Out Trumped, and they make me feel wanted and make me feel like this is all worth it. But then it's like the viewers are like our family as well. So then when they leave, it's very sad and lonely. So it's like,
oh my gosh. Do you notice too, if a regular doesn't come by anymore, like a part of my soul chips away. Like I can explain it to myself where I'm like, hey, you know, they have things to do. Maybe they had a baby. Like life moves on. They move on. But like seriously, like every time a piece of my heart breaks away. It's not fair. Don't leave.
It's such a lonely job.
But what do you mean? Like you literally lose people when you
well, yeah, I think everybody does. Like when you go on work trips and you come back, your sub numbers drop, your follow numbers drop sometimes. People find another stream while you're gone and want to go watch them. It's just like a cycle of the job. It's people come and go. Like the people I started with when I first started streaming, I mean, I think I have Shay, she's in chat. She's like the only one that is like still here from when I first started. So it's like these people just kind of trickle off, and I'm expecting everyone that's here now to eventually trickle off, and then there'll be a new group and then they'll trickle off. It's just, I feel like it's the cycle of streaming.
How do you stop? Can you stop it? Do you have any power over that?
No.
I don't think so.
You want my eyeliner?
Palette.
You just come get it, girl.
I'm trying to be quiet.
You're doing great.
Calling you out. You can't have her. I'm gonna take.
You're called out.
I'm gonna take this as a break to put on lip gloss because my lips are.
Oh, we're taking a break now. She's gonna put some lip gloss on.
No, but like, look, my lips. Okay, so I take. I'm on a medication that's drying me out, so it's lip gloss time.
You met her at PAX?
I'm going to be.
Oh, you're going to be meeting her at PAX.
Who is talking? I don't know.
Lindsay Wood.
Lindsay Wood. She just followed me on like everything, and I literally went like this. Like nobody could see it. I just like hopped a little bit. I was so excited because I had looked up stuff about her, and I was like, oh, she seems really nice, and I just like very casually followed her on Twitter, like I did with you, Tonzy, and then she followed me back, and I was like, oh okay, this is happening. You guys are so sweet. Everybody in my community telling me they're not going anywhere. It's like I see that, and my heart is so overjoyed. Thank you.
Huh?
She's going with Diva, right?
I am. Diva is sleeping in my bed. Well, maybe in a different bed, but she's sleeping with me.
Well, I'll be hanging out with Diva, so.
Sounds great. It sounds like we're all gonna be. Other than like, I have to be schmoozing with some mental health nonprofits, and by schmoozing I mean hanging out and really enjoying my time. I made that sound bad, but otherwise, yeah. And I have a panel. Anyway, I don't know why we're still talking about me.
I heard about that. That's exciting. Yay!
Yay!
All right, I'll let you guys get back to it.
Okay,
All
bye.
right.
Yeah, check this out.
Okay, break is done. It is a PJ party, Tally. I'm really excited.
Okay, sorry. How to counteract that? I don't think you really do. It just that's something that you have to come to terms with when coming into the job. Like I didn't expect it to happen, and then it did happen, and then it continued to happen, and now it's just like, okay, this is a part of it.
Yeah, you just grow thicker skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just call it a day. All right. So we're finally, I know everybody's been waiting for this moment, but how have your relationships been affected by you streaming? And actually, just, I don't know, how far do you want to go into this relationship rabbit hole? Because we can
dig it, sis.
Dig it? Oh my gosh. Okay. So tell me, are you more into like long-term relationships, or are you more the Tinder kind? Like, what's your preference?
I'm more of a Tinder kind of girl. I was in one relationship ever, and excuse me, I'm getting the Starbucks burps.
Bless.
And he like cheated on me multiple times, and so now it's like I don't even really want to put in that energy, especially in this time of my life. I'm constantly working. I have so much happening for me. Like I don't want to risk someone hurting me again. So I would just rather get on Tinder, someone touch my butt for a second and leave. Like that's all I need. That's all I want. And I want to get back to doing this.
Got it. So this is your relationship. Is everything like streaming is the baby, is the relationship, is the work, is the career, is the everything.
Yeah, this is my boyfriend. Like some viewers, they send me dick pics. Like it's like a relationship,
Sure.
we are one,
Dating can be distracting. I agree, Diva. Interesting. Very, very interesting to me, because I'm in the place where I have to balance out a relationship with a career, because I'm doing way too much. I'm not here to tell you that like what I'm doing is okay. I'm doing way too much. But like having to balance all of that. Do you feel like you're still kind of balancing, or you're like, no, I have the, like I know what I want and I'm going for it and that's what I'm focused on?
I think I'm having a hard time balancing real life and this. Like boys, not even a thing in my life.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I feel lonely and sad sometimes and feel like I want someone to want me, but beyond that, it's streaming and trying to balance being like a normal human. That's my struggle. There is no like boyfriend man situation.
No, it totally makes sense. So what I want to know more about is like what is outside of streaming supposed to be? Because I used to have friends and stuff and I don't know where they went. So is that a problem?
I think so. I mean, I moved away from home where all my friends were, and now I'm living with Lindsay, and she is my only friend here. But like, I stream so much and put so much into this that I don't need really like friends outside of this. Like getting off stream and being able to like talk about my problems with Lindsay and like having that company is like the perfect amount, because I'm at a point where this is literally like everything. Like it's all I think about. It's all I want to do. I just want to get online. Like these online friends that I have are like probably the best friends I've ever had. And I think that's more than enough for me. So I don't need like that outside connection.
So you don't feel like you feel like it's needed, but you don't, at the same time, you don't miss it because you know where you're kind of.
But I think I do miss it at points. Like I said, like I want someone to want me. Like, yeah, it is nice to be touched and wanted. And if we're talking about like a man specifically, like, yeah, it feels good to be wanted. But like, I think beyond that, like, this is so much better for me. This is like, this is my future. This is my career. And a career feels like, this is so good. Like no man can give me that satisfaction that this does every day.
I can confer with that, can agree with that. Jesus, I know words. I can concur with that. Having been in a relationship for 11 years, I was never, ever, I mean, I still am. I don't know why I said was. But I was not fulfilled until I found my career. Like I genuinely felt like that piece of me was missing. Like it was like, okay, great. I figured this piece out, but I need to feel fulfilled, like as a human being outside of whatever this relationship is, wherever it was going. Now I'm stuck and totally screwed. But no, I'm kidding. I love you. He's a producer on the show. So he's around and he's definitely watching. I love you. But yeah, feeling fulfilled, like having found this made a huge difference to me. Do you feel like unless you invest like all of your time and love into this can't grow? Like, do you think it's kind of like an all or nothing thing?
I hate to say the answer is yes, but that's just how I feel. If I'm not going ham at all points, I feel like I'm not doing it right.
Got it. Do you approach other things in life like that?
I mean, there's not really other things in life.
Okay,
I mean,
we just went over
right.
it. Right. We just went, you're like, okay, I just said that. That's interesting.
I mean, just like stream, like it hits all the marks I need to feel like a human. Like I said, there's things that I want to do outside of this. Like I want to go to the movies at some point. Like, and I do that, like I'm managing that, but like, I feel like the streaming thing checks all the marks. There's friends, you know, there's guys to flirt with if they want to flirt with me. Like there's just so many things that can happen right here that it's like, I have everything I need to feel satisfied.
That's beautiful. I absolutely love that. I love that so much. So what is it? Well, no, that's a redundant question. I'm just going to backtrack there. That's, I don't know. That's just beautiful. So in terms of relationships and love and longing and needing to be loved, like, do you feel like you, because it sounds to me like you fulfill that for yourself, like just you knowing what you want sounds to me like that's enough for you to be happy with your life. Like, yes, you did say that there are certain things that, okay, I can improve this, I wish this, but overall it sounds like you have a very positive pull towards like, I am my fulfillment. I bring joy to myself. Like focusing on your career tells me that, you know, the fact that you moved away from family again for your career tells me that the decisions that you've made to move away from like long-term romantic relationships to focus on you and who you are, the confidence that you exude, like all of that tells me that you have a very, very strong self. I'm going to stop putting words in your mouth and just kind of let you speak for yourself. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm happy. I love this job. I love where I'm at. I'm very confident in myself. I've never felt like I have things I'm self-conscious about, but I'm like very confident in myself. I'm very confident in the content I put out. I'm very confident in everything I say. I say everything with confidence. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Like for me, that is what I want everyone to be as a person. And I'm doing that for myself. There's no man helping me do this. I'm doing it myself. And that makes me happy. I go to bed happy knowing that I'm that person.
What is the goal? So do you have like a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, or you're just like, I'm plowing ahead and whatever happens, happens?
Every day is whatever happens, happens. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. I don't know what I'm going to do in 5 years. Every day is an adventure and we do it together. And I think it's so fun. Every day I wake up and something new happens and I, you know, change someone else's viewpoint in chat and I inspire someone in chat. Like if I did that for the next 5 years, sis, then I'm changing lives for the next 5 years. Like that will make me happy.
Do you remember, or can you describe somebody that you're like, I know that without me, or maybe not without you, but I know that I changed. Are you crying? Are you tearing up?
It's just like really emotional.
You said deep dive. You can have me. I can pull back at any time and we can talk about unicorns instead. Seriously.
No, I was sick at PAX, so it's still like,
you're a little
it's still
sniffy,
coming out. Yeah.
Sniffy. Where were we going with that?
I think you're trying to ask if I remember people who.
Yes, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, ADHD. Do you remember people whose lives you're like, I touched this person's life, I made a difference, and like that's the reason I wake up in the morning now?
I mean, yeah, at PAX, I'm not gonna out them, but like they came up to me and like were crying and were like, you are like a star to me. Like I look up to you and I think you're so amazing. And they were crying. Like that for me is like, it's not even like I've made it thing. It's like this person looks up to me so much that like I have brought tears to their eye. Like I'll forever remember that. And all the Twitter messages I get, like, you know, I come into your stream after a really hard day at work and like honestly, you just make everything so much better. Like that is like yay, like I just like living my life being a dumb drag queen. Like that makes me so happy.
Do you feel like, oh, you guys, do you feel like it's enough? Because there's often I don't know if you deal with this. So I deal with this self-doubt where I'm like, I'll just go through these periods where I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I probably should be working harder. I'm not putting in the effort I should be putting in. I'm not doing this right, whatever. And like just pushing yourself and putting unnecessary pressure on yourself and just saying like, why am I not, I don't know. I don't know what it is for you, but for me, it's always like, why do I not have my own talk show yet? Like it's something so bizarre. Like it might as well be like, why am I not the president of the United States yet? It must be because I'm a failure. Do you have those moments where you just put that pressure on yourself and you're like, this is not enough? Like, this is great. I appreciate everybody, but this is not enough. This is where I should be.
I always think I can do more. And I'm very harsh on myself sometimes. I think it comes with the ebbs and flows. Is that the word? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the
ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Those are all words. Yeah, we're good.
The ups and downs of streaming. Like when sub count is down because it's, you know, right before Christmas, like I'm like, wow, I could be doing so much more. I should be doing more. So yeah, that's a normal feeling, self-doubt. And, you know, why are my views low? Why is this person, I compare myself to people sometimes, like, why is this person getting more than I am? That's real. And I think also that kind of comes with like, I've never been diagnosed, but I also feel like I can be very bipolar. Have really high highs and sometimes I have really low lows. And when I'm in that low, it's like, oh my God, I have no friends outside of this. Like it gets in your head and it's real, but like, I have to realize like everything I do is good. And it's just a slow race to the end. Does that make sense? It all takes time. So
do you ever, so going back to my question of really, is it enough? Is one person crying and telling you that you changed their life, is that enough?
That's more than enough for me. Because like, I know I did that. And I mean, I want more. Of course I want more. I want everyone to feel my confidence and I want everyone to walk outside, you know, wearing a bright yellow dress because they want to, like, and I gave them that confidence to do it. Like, I want people to just do whatever they want to do. And if it's one person that I convinced to do that, like, yes, but of course I want more. I want everyone to feel that confidence. So yeah, it's enough, but you can never have enough. I want more.
I want more. And I feel I've said this before in the community and I've always been like, I don't want anybody to feel like they're not enough for me. It's more of a matter of, I feel like I could be helping more people and I don't know how to do that yet, but like, I will figure it out. That is my goal. Yeah. I get that. That is like, everything you've said has resonated with me, but that is one of the first things that like really like spoke to my soul. So thank you for
You're
that.
so welcome.
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, you're out here trying to make people confident in themselves, and I'm out here trying to make people understand that like having feelings is okay. People don't like having feelings and admitting to feelings and like if you tell them here are feelings, people move away from that. But if you just make them feel stuff and then they're like, oh, you made me feel something, that was cool. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, yeah, I think there's like a lot of stigma and feelings too. Like there's a lot of meaning that isn't true that people put into having feelings.
Yeah.
Like having feelings isn't masculine or having feelings makes you an unstable female. Like there's so much into it. And it makes sense. Everyone should feel confident enough to cry. Like this is like minor, but like anytime one of my friends is sad, I tell them like, you need to go through those emotions. Like don't try to hold it back. Like allow yourself to cry. You
Yeah.
you want to cry, then cry. Like, that's okay to cry. If you're angry, then be angry. Like, it's okay to feel feelings.
If you push that back, it just comes out harder and for longer later. Like, there's no shortcuts through feelings. There's no, I'm just going to shove this like deep down in the recess of my heart and I'll never feel it again. It's just going to come out later and worse. So like, if you just let yourself experience it as it's happening and just sit with the discomfort, it will pass, and then you're on the other side and it's totally okay.
I agree.
That's so beautiful. It's so poetic. I think I saw like a boatload of questions, so I think it's time. I've been kind of shamefully ignoring people just because I've been like so entrenched in your eyes and in your soul, and just like you're just wonderful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's totally not an awkward thing to say to somebody. I'm into your soul. Like that's fine. That's normal. Yeah, I know. Everybody. My community is cringing for me. It's okay.
Oh my God.
It's okay. We're owning this. So let's go to questions.
Community time.
Okay, so if you have a longer none of them got cut off. Great. Okay, so first question is Shay. Your opinion on why do people feel the need to bring your sexuality into arguments that have nothing to do with it?
That happens so often, and I find it rather annoying. Not even arguments, but compliments. I'm not gay, but your makeup looks so good. I think it's like,
why did you just tell me my makeup looks good?
I think it's like a what's the word? Like a ego thing. Like they're so
defensive
and not confident in their own being that they have to make sure everyone knows they're not gay when they compliment me, because makeup and men don't go together in
like a traditional sense.
So making sure that I know they're not gay, that makes them feel good. It has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
It has everything to do with them. As long as they say that and the community knows they're not gay, they feel good about it. They can't just live their life with complimenting someone's makeup. Like, they're not confident enough to do that because they think too much about what everyone else thinks. And I think that's annoying. I think that answered the question.
It does. Yeah. So you obviously are aware, just because you're a very aware human, that women have it pretty crappy in some situations, men have it pretty crappy in some situations. Do you feel like you get it both? I'm not saying like, do you have it worse? I don't think anybody can measure that, but like, do you feel like you kind of get it from both sides because you do drag?
Get what from both sides?
Like just gender expectations, one way or another.
No, anybody that comes in my stream, they just yell at me and tell me I'm a man. So I'm reminded daily that I'm a man. So I don't really get.
That's very important.
That's very important.
We can end the stream now. This whole hour was me just making sure that you knew that you were a man and you're not supposed to be wearing makeup because it's a no.
But that is. So I feel like, to answer that question, no, I really only get male expectations. Like, I'm not supposed to be wearing makeup. Right. I'm not like, go out and get like a real job. I mean, I'm sure everyone gets that.
Yeah, that's a streamer thing. Yeah.
But also I feel like it's, I'm a man, so maybe is it because I'm not out there lifting weights and throwing hay bale? Like, I don't know.
Right.
But yeah,
I like throwing hay bale. That's something that like like I have a heterosexual husband. He's always throwing hay bales. Always. Like every day. It's
always
really
in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting because that's not the answer I expected. I thought, so it sounds like it's not usually, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't sound like you get a lot of crap from women. It sounds like you get a lot of crap from insecure guys. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, it's live, so of course I get stuff from females, but it's like, God, every 1 out of every 60 is potentially a woman yelling at me saying like some bullshit. I don't know. But yeah, it's always men. Men are my worst enemy. Like, in like the trolley sense, because like all the trolls are men. All the trolls are like just ugh, that's my answer. Ugh.
Just ugh. That's your whole. That's the whole.
That's the whole statement.
End the stream. Ugh. Okay, I think we're ready for the next question because I can keep asking you questions forever. Okay, Chunky Nuts asks, for both of you, you both have such bubbly, exciting personalities. Do you have any tips to do or coping mechanisms for days when you wake up and you're just not feeling it? Oh, I have plenty. I won't shut up about this. So go.
Just don't. I mean, when I don't want to do something, I've come to like accept the fact that I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And that's my answer. If you don't want to do something, then don't do it. Is that what he's asking, I guess?
I think he's asking, I think it's more asking, you wake up and you feel like crap, but you gotta stream, you gotta put on, like, do you put on a bubbly personality? Do you ever put on a face of like, no, I'm fine, everything's okay today? I don't know why I'm snapping so much, I'm sorry. Like, everything's okay, I'm fine. Or do you just go, nope, today's a shit day and too bad for all of you?
Oh, well, yeah, then I think my answer stays the same.
Yeah.
Just don't. Like, your viewers, from my experience, will always understand and have your back. Like, they want you to be healthy. They want you to be okay. And like, when I feel like shit, some days I feel like shit, but still want to play video games. So I don't put all of this on. Like, I don't have to put this on if it's going to make me feel worse than I already do. Like, you don't have to do anything you don't want. And I think, yeah, I keep my answer. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. If you feel like crap, then you sit there and you take time for you. That's my answer.
I love that. Okay. Do you feel, so some people have described, like, I was listening to Ms. Cracker on the Hilarious World of Depression, the podcast, and she was talking about the fact that she came to life when she tried drag. Did you also kind of have that experience, or you're just like, no, this is just another facet of me?
Well, it is another facet of me, but when I put it on, I do come to life. Like,
yeah.
I love feeling beautiful. I love feeling sassy. I love feeling, the term is feeling my oats. If I'm feeling my oats, honey, like, I am my best self. Like, Sheldon, boy me, is, a boy. I like to, just do nothing, pick my nose, fart, I don't know, go outside. I love all that stuff, but I also love, like,
and that checks out. That boy farts, picks his nose. That checks out. Yeah,
exactly. But Tonzy is, I would say, my best side of me. Like, I get to do all this. This is what I love. I love makeup. I love video games. I love fashion. And this is, yeah, I love it. It's, yes, I come to life.
So my follow-up question, and I have so many, but my follow-up question is, do you then, how would you respond to somebody? Because I've heard it plenty of times where I'm like, well, I feel like I am more confident when I have makeup on. Like, I feel more like myself. I feel like this is my face. And I've heard that, well, you should love yourself the way you are. So what do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, I wasn't asking for your opinion. That's my answer. I think that is, I get the premise behind it. I get it. Like, it's a compliment, but also it's not a compliment because
it's not.
I'm not doing it for you, sis. It's like, yeah, I do it for the show, I guess, in a sense. Like, I do this for the stream, but it is not for every single individual viewer. I am doing the makeup and the hair and the wig because that's what I want to do. I want to do this, which makes the show, because I'm loving what I'm doing. So you're getting, so it's not for anybody. Like, so I wasn't asking. I've been using that answer a lot lately. A lot of people are like, they insert their opinion, and I make sure they know I was not asking. I was not asking for your opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I am doing what I want to do, and you can watch, or you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch the show. So.
Oh my God. Ugh. Okay. All right, fine. Next question. Oh, wait. I think I was supposed to respond. So what I do when I'm not so in terms of mood, so there are days where I just wake up and I'm depressed, and I like Tonzy's answer, and I'm not going to I think I have a different flavor totally. So I don't think that I put on a different face. I think I went through a phase in my life where I was like, people don't like me unless I'm smiling, so I'm going to be smiling all the time and be bubbly all the time. And it becomes kind of one of two things. One, making myself or like getting myself to a smiley place ultimately makes me feel better and makes me feel more like myself. Like when I've talked about my depression before, like that doesn't feel like real Marie. That is depressed Marie. I don't like that person. I don't like who I become when I go there, when I don't feel myself. So if I can feel happy and peppy and upbeat, that's not me putting on a mask. That's me finally being able to be me, and that means that I'm in the mindset to be able to do that. So things that enable me to do that, sometimes, most of the time, getting on stream gets me there, where I'm like, I am here for people, and that makes me, there are people here, I'm here for people, and people are here for me, and that makes me smile. That makes me want to put out my best self so that other people laugh and smile, and then that in turn feeds me back. So it's not, people will say like it's like putting on a mask, but I strongly, strongly disagree, because I feel like it's a self-feeding system. Like I get joy from bringing people joy, which brings me joy, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's that, but like on days where I'm depressed, just listening to what I need, and it's so hard to not push yourself and be like, you should be doing more. You should be getting up out of bed. You shouldn't be eating Cheetos in bed. You shouldn't be having pizza for lunch. Like all of those things are very, it's really easy to beat yourself up over them, but it's a whole nother thing to, like Tonzy said, actually, that this ties in together, of just accepting and being like, I don't feel like doing that today. But that has been a self-discovery process for sure, of figuring out when I'm literally putting on a mask because, oh my God, people please like me, versus putting on a mask, versus putting on my best self so that I like myself. Does that make sense?
That actually makes me want to like add on to mine,
Go,
because
go,
mine
go,
was
go,
very
go.
well, mine was very like straightforward, but like if we're thinking about it on like a self help sense, like yeah, if you don't feel like doing something, my answer is still the same, don't do it.
Right.
But like there are things that you can do. Like for me, when I feel like shit, a hot shower is amazing. Listening to ASMR like really like actually calms me down. So you need to find your outlet of what is going to make you feel better. Like my answer was very like, don't do it. And I believe in that. Like you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but make sure you are taking time for yourself. Like you are important, and you need to figure out what makes you happy on those days.
Hell yeah. I love that. I love that. I did a video and Video Game Diva was in it. Things to do for self-help when you're not feeling good. It was like a bunch of streamers, which next time, and when I do one of those, Tonzy, you're on the hook for one of those.
Boom.
Okay. Next question. Tori from Target asked, do you ever regret making some things public online instead of privately one-on-one messaging? Which we kind of answered. I don't know if you have any add-on to that.
No, I'm very like an open book, and I've even said like, if anyone ever wanted to like, this is silly, but if anyone ever like wanted to leak my nudes, I would do it myself. Like I have no shame on what I put online, and I have no regrets for anything I've ever done. And I don't think I'll have any regrets for what I post in the future.
That kind of ties into how I feel about it, which is like, if you don't want your nudes to leak online, and you know what the cloud is, and you know how the internet works, and you know all this stuff, don't take nudes, or take them in like on like a different camera that's not your cell phone. So it's very, very simple. Like I have taken nudes in my life, but I don't think people are gonna find them unless they're like really douchewads, in which case I would have to own it, kind of like Jennifer Lawrence style, where you're like, I hope you're happy with yourself, because that wasn't intended for you. I hope that makes you feel better that you did.
Well, and if you're gonna take them, make sure you're ready for them to be online. You know, like
that's a
me,
really
like
good point. Don't take shitty nudes.
Well, right, and like I said, like I'm so confident that like if it was to happen, like I would probably retweet it and be like, yeah, that's me. Like you need to
James
like
Charles
be ready.
style.
Yeah.
This is my butt. This is my cute little peachy butt. I looked at it the whole time. I was just like, it's so small. It's just so small.
So no, I regret nothing I posted online.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. If streaming is your life to the point of all else being an inconvenience, are you at serious risk of burnout? Do you have any way of combating that when it happens?
Well, the word inconvenience, I don't think, like, not things aren't an inconvenience to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't need them. Like if I'm get invited to like a movie date, like yeah, I'm gonna go to the movie, but like I don't physically need that connection. But yeah, burnout is a thing, and I experienced that like a month ago. It was like, what is my content? Like I need to up this and I need to do more. So yeah, I think burnout is a thing, but I don't think it has anything to do with streaming being my passion or things being an inconvenience to me. I think that's like its own.
It's a separate question. So
Yeah.
what did you do to get out of burnout?
Kept going.
You just just plowed through it.
Well, no, I think a lot of my viewers seen it. There was like a point where I didn't do makeup every day, and that still kind of is a thing, but it's lesser now, but it's more of me being like, I don't have to do this makeup every day if I don't want to. And I've talked about that. Like if I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. And I think that's helping my burnout. Like I don't have to do all of this every day. I can go live as Sheldon and play video games and still get the same love. Like this is a plus. And I think that helped my burnout. Don't do things you don't want to do and it'll help.
I love that. It's not only like a self-love little lesson, but it's also a lesson in like love all aspects of yourself, and don't like if some aspect of you becomes tedious and becomes a chore, then it will no longer, just by definition, it's no longer going to be good for you. So if you can continue making it a treat and something that you look forward to. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Tonzy, Video Game Diva asked, Tonzy, do you see yourself doing anything beyond streaming in the future? And do you have any other dreams?
I think this will always be something I want to try. But I've always wanted to be like a personal assistant. I love organization. I love feeling the pressure. I love all of that. And like the idea of being someone's like, go get my coffee. I need you to write down this, call this person, do that. Like that. Oh, that's
Jeffree
my shit.
Star, are you fucking taking notes right now? I'm just saying, I saw you swoon over I mean, I have very similar like feelings when I see Ryan Gosling. That's the only thing I can probably compare it to. And like a few like just general streamers that I absolutely love. But I saw your feelings towards Jeffree, and it's something has to happen there. Those have to get requited somehow. Like it just
Jeffree is my confidence. Like I get some confidence from Jeffree, like watching him just every day someone has something to say about Jeffree every day.
Oh, yeah.
And that to me is someone I look up to. Jeffree and like Lady Gaga, I would be their assistant any day, honey. Like, oh my God.
Okay, what about Lady Gaga? Because Lady Gaga and I, like, I feel like are like separated souls at some point. She doesn't know this. She doesn't know who I am. She'll probably never walk next to me, and that's fine. But like, I just have so much. Did you by any chance listen to her podcast with Oprah? Her like recent interview with Oprah?
I don't think so.
So it's on Spotify. You have to hear it. Like it's life-changing. I mean, maybe it was just for me because she talked about mental health and she was like open about her mental health, why it's important, and why.
Well, I watched a sit down. There was a sit down where they talked.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They just did it into a podcast. That's all. Like you could have listened to it as a podcast. Yeah. It's the same one. Yeah. But like that touched me in a way. It was somebody. Because I know why I care about mental health, but I feel like I always have a hard time explaining to other people why it's important in a way that's not just like, just listen to me. You have to hear this. Like, I have a very hard time making people care without feeling like I'm forcing them to care. And listening to Gaga talk about it was just eye-opening. The way she talked about it made me care even more and made me understand why I'm doing this. But like, I just want to hear your story, because that's how much she means to me. So you told me about Jeffrey. Like, what is
Well, I
Gaga?
think that ties into the first question we asked, or one of the first questions, like, where did all of this like come from? And I think a lot of it came from Lady Gaga. Like, says I have so much like Lady Gaga shit. Like, I love her so much. I watch all of her stuff. I listen to all of her music. And I think she's like a big reason that I've kind of like learned to like just look at people as people and not as like all of who's better, who's not better, you know, gay people, straight people, like you're just all people. And I think I get that from her, like watching her just like live her life and just love everybody. I think that comes from her a lot. So
Shay asks, as a person who is in the quote spotlight, do you find yourself worrying and restricting / being cautious about what you say just so people don't twist your words? Or do you just stay true to yourself and let it all out all the time?
let it all out all the time. Last night I had a full-on meltdown about the 24/7 auto host thing, and I said whatever I wanted to because I have no shame and I believe in everything I've said about the situation. And so I said what I wanted to, and some people don't like it and some people do, and oh well.
In one word about that situation, was what bothered you just the injustice of it? Like, what? I understand. We talked about it, we talked through it. You know, it's the fact that like people are working hard. Like, if you could summarize in one word that you're like, no, this is why. Like, why does it bother you so much? Because there's not a lot of things that bother you this much. So why this one?
Well, let me clarify that it didn't bother me that much.
Okay.
The aftermath is what is bothering me.
Okay.
So the people threatening me and saying if I go to E3, or not E3, PAX East, there's like people threatening me, and there's someone saying that I'm telling people I'm going to rape them, and like all of these things are being posted publicly, and that's what bothers me. The initial action of like the host thing, all I wanted to do was tweet and make it public.
Yeah.
What bothered me about it when I read it is the farming of people.
Yeah.
You're asking people to sit in your channel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and interact in your chat to be put on this auto host list. That's like farming people. You are collecting people to inflate your number and pretty much paying for them with an auto host. That's where my problem was. It didn't bother me like that much. Like my whole world wasn't shattered. But the aftermath, I'll admit it, it bothered me. Like the fact that you guys are publicly tweeting you're going to harm me, saying the
okay.
R word. You know, I wake up this morning to a tweet from some random stranger telling me I'm like trash and I'm not successful. Like that to me is crazy, but also that is something that I need to accept and be like, some people are not going to like what I have to say. And I've learned that over time, but sometimes it's still shocking. Like this is the most shocking I've ever seen it. And I think that's why people think I'm bothered so much, because it is the most shocking thing I've ever seen. Like the way people would act and call themselves a streamer on Mixer, like that blows my mind.
Well, you took a tool away from them. You took a crutch away from them, and they're mad because they don't know. They don't have doing something about it would require you to take responsibility for your wrongdoing, and that's just not very comfortable to do. So I'd rather threaten you and tell you that you're a piece of shit because you took this from me.
Yeah. No, I as soon as they started tweeting, I was like, okay, I get it. You guys are a part of the community. I'm publicly making this known. You're attached to it. We're angry. But just like the lack of self-control from people is, I would never publicly say anything about someone with the R word related to it. Like that to me was the most shocking of them all.
Any terrible word. Like what?
Well, right, no. But that R word is like a whole action. That is like a whole, it's not just a word, it's like a whole meaning and action behind it. And that is what like why would you say that? Like, so many people actually go through that every day, and you're just throwing it out there that I said that. I would never say that. I would never do that. Consent is key, and people actually go through this struggle every day of their life, and you're just openly tweeting that. Like, that blows my mind.
Yeah. Thank you for being open about it, though, and how you feel about it. Attack Life 6 asks, do you feel being a full-time streamer has degraded your IRL friends and family? You kind of answered this. Do you have anything else to add?
Sure. Yeah. I talk to my mom less. I talk to my brothers less, but all of them are on Mixer and they check up on me and we talk on the phone. I moved away from home, so I don't really have friends here. But like I said, I'm so busy and so confident in my job that everyone understands. And it's not like a bad thing. So
okay,
I'm okay with it.
Muggle Fuggles asks, at a time in your life when you worked a 9 to 5 and streamed, how did you balance your life in general? And did family and friends have a problem with you and your streaming at first?
I mean, balancing it was not hard. It was just go to work, stream, sleep, go to work, stream. But no, actually, all my friends and family have always been supportive. And I kind of miss that, like, interaction, like going and hanging out with friends and like being able to like discuss it and having them hype me up. That's something I miss. But no one was ever like not supportive of it.
Okay, I have a question. What comes first,
Okay.
the chicken or the egg? The confidence and therefore people support you, or people support you and therefore you become confident?
Me personally?
Yeah. Or what do you can talk about in general if you don't want to talk about yourself.
Confidence comes with the people. Like, people wouldn't watch me if I was not confident.
Okay.
If I was self-conscious, a quiet, introverted streamer, I personally wouldn't watch that. Why would I want to watch something that's, in a sense, not entertaining?
Right.
Like, does that make sense? So
No,
my confidence is what people want to watch. They want to watch me dance around the room. They want to watch me, do awful karaoke. They want to see me at events and drag. Like, that confidence brings the people.
Awesome. I love it. Video Game Diva asks, Tonzy, can you speak on gender identity? How do you identify and why it's important? I love your stance on it and how you respond to those who question you.
Yeah, I actually love talking about this.
We should have been fucking doing this the whole time. Reverse. We're starting the whole interview over. Sorry, go ahead.
We're starting over. Me personally, and I wish a lot of people would see it this way, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't care what you call me, he, she, they, as long as what you're calling me and what you're calling me and referring to me as isn't disrespectful, I'm okay. You call me whatever makes you comfortable. If you see me as a boy when I look like this, call me he. If you see me as she when I look like this, call me she. If you want to call me she when I'm Sheldon, that's, you call me it. And I wish there's like this, it's huge actually, because it's every day of my life. Every day people want to know my pronouns. There's such a culture of being scared of calling someone the wrong thing.
Yeah,
and
I asked your pronouns before we started.
Yeah, and like, I'll answer it, but I hate it. I hate that there is so much fear around misgendering someone. You should be able to say whatever you're comfortable with. And if that person corrects you, you say the correct thing. But there should not be a fear at the start of the conversation that you're going to call them the wrong thing. Everyone is so afraid of like, oh my God, they're going to be mad because I called Tonzy a he. I want to make sure I get the pronoun right. And that's all nice. And that's so like 2020 of you. But there shouldn't be that like nervousness all the time. It's like walking on eggshells. Like, I'm going to call them the wrong thing. Like, if you're corrected and you politely start using the correct pronoun, okay, great. Like, that's you not being an asshole. But if someone says no, it's she, and you continue to call them he, that's where the problem lies. But you shouldn't start every conversation with, what's your pronoun? Because I just feel like that is so, you're just living in fear constantly of just, that
Whose
makes
job is that to make me comfortable? Is that my job to learn to be comfortable with the idea that, like, somebody might not be the pronoun that I call them, and that's okay? Or is it the gay community or, you know, the transgender community saying, hey, it's okay if you mess up? Because I partly feel like, yeah, I partly feel like that's not the message we're being given. The message we're being given is you better not mess this up. And I feel like that's where the fear comes from. And so I'd rather ask, and I don't want to upset. It's honestly, though, a very small percentage, but it only takes one person to yell at you. I have experienced this literally one time, where the rest of the time, like, I will just, you know, I'll be corrected and I'll move on with my life. I'll call you the right thing. I have respect for you. But there was one time where I said the wrong thing, and that person, A, got very upset with themselves, and B, they got very upset with me that I thought that. And then I got a whole rant about gender identity and how, like, disrespectful it is to assume somebody's gender, and all of that, and how, like, misogynistic society is. And I was like, I'm ready to apologize 30 minutes before I heard all of this stuff. So I appreciate you saying that.
And to answer that question, I think it is the gay community's job. And this is why a lot of people, gay people, don't like me, because I am very, like, I don't do the whole rainbows and glory shit. Like, I'm a human being. I don't need to label myself with a community. Like, I'm just going to be a real person. And my real opinion is, I think all of that is bullshit. Not the pronoun thing. You can have
Sure.
whatever pronoun you want. I am all for that. Live your life, sis. But the yelling and the arguing and you making a giant scene because someone called you the wrong pronoun once, it shouldn't even happen. That's insane that someone accidentally called you the wrong pronoun and you lost your mind. That is not the community I am a part of. And I think it is for the pronoun situation, it is the gay community's job to be the ones who are understanding.
Okay.
Like, correct? And if the correction is not taken, yeah, there's a reason to be upset. Like, I get that. But, like, the initial, like, Tonzy's a man. Like, we don't need to be upset about that. Like, okay, there's nothing. Does that make sense? It isn't your guys' job. Like, if I was to look at you and be like, that's not my fault that I looked at you and was like, oh, that's a he. That's my own brain working. So
do you feel like that is a reaction to the fact that, like, there are also, like, imagine the man who moves bales of hay? Is that what we're referring to? The man who moves bales of hay every day. You come up to him and you call him she. Can you imagine the earful you would get? Do you think that's like an opposite, maybe, reaction to that? Almost.
Well, I think it's just the person being insecure, and I think that's, like, where it comes from. Like, the gay community, like, I get it. Like, a lot of people live their whole lives, like, in the wrong bodies, and now they, finally want people to call them the right pronoun. But I think it's just the insecurity. Like, if I was to walk up and call a man she, which, is bound. I mean, it could happen.
It has. Like, no, I've done it before, just because, like, I don't know. It's not even, like, I'm trying to think if it's like I call my gay friends all kinds of random genders. And, like, but I've also done that to girls too, where I've been like, wow, look at the balls on him. Like, something like that. Like, I don't know. Right. I don't know.
But that's just, like, our brains working. Like, that's how we're trained to identify these things, by, like, visual cues. And if you think someone looks like a man and you call them he, then you call them he. But, like, the problem lies with that first interaction. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to just say what you're thinking. Just say he. And then if you're corrected, like I said, you say the right thing. But if you don't, then that's where you're being an asshole. But the initial interaction of, like, that fear, that's where my problem lies. Is, like, everyone is so afraid to say the wrong thing. If you mean genuinely what you're saying and you're like, wow, I thought that was a guy, I'm so sorry, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not being an asshole. You're just that's what you thought. And that's okay. That's okay to think. I just think the people reacting, it's just so gross. Like, you're creating this fear in society that doesn't need to be there. So sorry, I thought you were a man. Like, let me correct it. It's not hard.
So, but in the same vein, because I think what people will bring up this argument, I call everything dude. Like, everything is dude. And my husband is dude. The dog is dude. Like, everything. Somebody put it really well. They're like, the sink is dude. The car is dude. You know, the person is dude. Anything is dude. So people will get, like, I have talked to people who've been like, don't call me dude. Like, I take general offense because I do not believe. There's somebody I know who has a very firm stance that dude is a gendered word and you cannot say it to just anybody, or like, you know, hey guys, you do not, guys is male and that's the end of the story. What do you think?
I think it's the same
It's
argument.
The same
so
okay.
So if you come up to me and you're like, hey dude, and I'm like, it's not dude, please. Like, if we can avoid that, that'd be great. And then you're like, okay, dude, like, there's where the problem is. Like, that's the problem, not the initial you calling me dude. Like, is that making sense? Like,
it is, but it's hard for me to grasp because there have been so many times, like, again, it's so part of my lexicon that I will probably, if I meet you at PAX, I'll be like, oh my God, dude, hi. You know, where I won't even think about it. It'll just be like the next thing that rolls out of my mouth. And then I might even repeat it just because, again, but probably the second time when I repeat it, I'll be like, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Sorry, that just came out, you know? But I have been yelled at. Like, again, I've been yelled at for that. And I don't want to be yelled at again. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
That's the problem, is you being yelled at. And that's what, like, I tell people when they come into my stream, you guys don't need to worry about being yelled at. Like, you shouldn't be being yelled at because you called someone dude. You should be being yelled at or corrected if you, like, go out of your way to call me dude and I've asked you not to do so. That's where the problem is.
All right, we'll stop. We get it. I got it. We'll stop.
Are you sure? You know, you can ask. I mean, I'm confused.
I can feel you being like, and there's nothing wrong with this. I can feel you being like, we're moving on. That's it.
Well, no, I want to make sure I answer your question.
You definitely did. I think it's just my brain. What's happening with me is my brain trying to comprehend. Okay, so this is how it's similar to me when I'm relating it to. It's not the same. But I have had Black people say, oh, I don't mind if you use the N-word around me. And then I look around and I'm like, you're fucking with me. Like, I'm not going to say it, but also that's cool that you're letting me know that I could say it, but also, like, is this a joke? So that's why if I'm repeating the same question and, like, asking it in 4 different ways, I'm like, this is not the common conversation to have. So I'm almost trying to pick out every angle of it and be like, yeah, but this, and your answer is the same. And that's all I'm saying, that I'm like, we can move on from this. Like, I get it. I do.
I just want to make sure that you know you're not wrong. That was my point, is you are not wrong and you should not be being yelled at. That is my point. I don't want you to think, or anyone in chat to think, that because you called someone the wrong pronoun at the beginning does not mean you deserve to be yelled at or lectured or anything. Take the correction and move on. And that's you being a good person, not, I don't know. I don't want you to think you're wrong. You're not wrong.
So I can walk away from that interaction. If somebody lectures me, I have full right to walk away from that interaction and be like, that person was a dick.
Yes, they are 100% being a dick. 100% way too extra. Way too. That is not what I want the gay community to be. That is very hardcore feminist, but the gay version. Mm-hmm. Like, that is not what I support. And I am willing to help people learn and understand. And if you calling me the wrong pronoun leads to me giving you a correction and openly having a discussion about pronouns and things like that, that's good. But I will never yell at someone or make them feel irrelevant because they have called me the wrong pronoun. I don't think that's acceptable.
I love it. I fucking love it. Whenever I give you a hug, I'm gonna say whatever comes out of my mouth, and I'm
You
gonna
should.
love it.
You
I'm
should.
gonna love it, and I won't get lectured, and it's gonna
You
be
will not get lectured.
beautiful. I love it so much. Okay, Kiki's goat. If you have any questions, wrap them up because I'm about to close the queue. Because I mean, Tonzy's got to get her beauty sleep. Come on. But I don't know. Are you streaming back after this before I send everybody off?
Oh yes, we are streaming after this.
Okay, all right. So I gotta rehost all these people back over. Okay, so Kiki's goat asked, Tonzy, didn't you go to PAX with Leaks and did you like it?
With who?
I don't know who Leaks is. It's Leeks. I don't know who that is.
They mean they forgot the K. Keeks. Yes, I was at.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
Yes, I love them. I love Mario. I love Goddess. I love Lindsay. My best friends.
So you're not going to East, right? Because it's a little far for you.
No, it's not far. It's that South happened, and then East is literally like
A month.
less than a month. It's crazy. That's too soon. I can't plan looks and all of that.
I mean, that's why I didn't go to South. I literally, the other day, I was talking to Diva, and I was like, I need clothes. I don't know what to do. I need clothes for PAX East. She's like, oh shit, me too. We like frantically, last weekend, I was like, if I don't find something this weekend. It was the whole thing. Anyway, so I get it. That's my point. You guys are absolutely, Mxiety gets to be on we'll just casually bring that up again. People will be watching this YouTube video a month from now and we'll still be like, Mxiety was on a panel. It's mind-blowing. Just anywho, you are an absolute delight. I'm gonna give you the opportunity. The answer could be totally no, but do you have any questions for me?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I didn't plan this.
You didn't plan this? Oh, I should start asking people. I'm really proud of you, okay? Video Game Diva is like a proud mom, best friend, sister person, and it's like really cute. That's all I'm gonna say.
Diva. I would ask you, is there anything you want clarification of? Because I feel like that last conversation was a little rocky, but is there any other ones
because it's a rocky subject. I respect the bejesus out of you for, I think we both got down to a point where we were like extremely honest and we were able to do that. Like, I honestly felt like there was nobody watching. Like, that's the level that I got to personally, and I respect that so much, where I was able to be like, listen, this is how I feel in my soul of souls, and you were able to reach down there and give me a hug, and that's incredible. You cannot do that with everybody. You cannot bury yourself open and have just any, like, people respond with respect back. It's very often that you're like, okay, I'm about to be vulnerable and let you know that this is something I'm very self-conscious about, and people in return are like, I'm gonna crack a joke about this, or they'll just be like, oh yeah, that's like too bad for you. Can we move on to have another conversation? But you did not do that, and you had my respect before, but you just like earned it on another level. So thank you.
God.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything you need to clarify. And also, you just taught me that there is something very valuable that people give each other that I don't think enough emphasis is given on. And that is that you give another person permission to be themselves around you. You send certain messages to people that let them know it is okay to be whatever it is you are around me. Because it's different. Like, I understand corrections need to be made. I understand that, people do the wrong thing and whatever. But there's one situation where you can meet that immediately with hostility. And there's another situation where you could be like, okay, I know this is the 4th time I'm saying this to you, but I don't mind repeating this because it's important to me that you feel yourself around me. And you did that. Not a lot of people do that. Like, I felt that around Diva. I felt that around a lot of people in my community. That is what I want people to feel when they come into my stream, when they ask all those weird mental health questions. And so this is my really long rampage to just tell you, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh my God, no, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely fantastic. This has been an absolute freaking delight. Tell them where they can find you, other than I'm normally pressing this button and like shouting you out every 4 seconds, but I kind of feel like everybody who's here probably is here because of you and not because of me. So I don't feel like I don't feel like I like was amiss or anything, but follow the crap out of Tonzy. I don't know how you're here if you're not because of Tonzy, but Follow her on Mixer. It is Tonzy Mixer on Twitter.
Yep.
And those are the main places. And then is it Tonzy Mixer on Instagram?
Yeah, social media is all Tonzy Mixer.
Tonzy Mixer. Okay. Mxiety links, please. I don't have the button ready. I just explained that I'm a terrible person. Please leave it. Please leave it be. I don't have the button. I actually asked her for the links, and she was just before the stream, and she was just like, just do the Mixer. And I was like, all right, well, we'll just do shout outs. So it's just shout out Tonzy, and then all of her links are on her page. So if you're watching this right now, all of her links will also be on the YouTube post once this is posted. You are like absolutely wonderful, and I'm sure that all the people you surround yourself with are just as doubly wonderful. And I thank you, thank you for the honor once again of letting me interview you and not shying away from anything. This was incredible. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And if you have any, other shows you need a firehouse on, I'm here for you.
Yeah, you're coming back like hardcore. I'm gonna come up with a subject. We're gonna have to figure out what we're talking about because we went pretty deep today. But you're coming back. Psh, psh.
There's so much more we can touch on.
Oh my gosh, of course, like life, all of life. There's
Right.
a lot going on, dudes. Okay, here's my question to everybody in the community: did you walk away from this feeling more loved? That's what I want to know. Did you walk away from this feeling like I know how to love myself, at least for today, a little bit better? I want to do a threesome. Diva, don't tempt me with a good time. Abso-freaking, because that's what I wanted out of this. I wanted a very subtle way of people to walk away and be like, I know what confidence is.
Well, and I come on here like a lot of my answers were harsh, but my main point on here was to let people know that you can be whatever you want to be. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, as long as you are happy and you love yourself. That's all that matters in life. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. And that's like my main message in streaming, anything. Be you 100%, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And that's what I hope I brought across, rather than, I know my answers can be harsh, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Be you, just do you, and be happy and love yourself. So
I want you to look directly at me right now so you know your answers were not. There was not a thought in my mind that I was like, wow, that's really harsh. Like, there was a lot of thoughts that went through my mind just because it doesn't stop. But none of them were like, that was hard. Every time you said you were giving a harsh answer, I was like, okay, I guess. I was like, you're just saying the real thing. Like, you're just being true to yourself.
I know, but sometimes real is
hard
too
to
much.
swallow.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that people knew that it was all in love and not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Oh my God, thank you, love.
When we sign off here, we let people know that if you feel like the world is dark and nobody can give you the love and the care that you need, you go out there and you be that light to others. So thank you for being our light, Tonzy, tonight. That
Oh my
was
God,
wonderful.
thank you.
Oh. All right, I will talk to you later. You can hop off whenever.
All right, peace, girl.
Bye. Mwah!
Leave the meeting.